Can y'all hear when it says that?
Yeah.
Recording in progress. Um, Tanya said she's going to work on trying to figure out how to get us little like shorts for the beginning of our videos.
Like,
Oh, cute.
I said good because Angela and I ain't it.
No.
I'll look into it, see a little time to really get into it because when we were doing it on the other channel, like I know it can take a little bit of time. It's fast, but it still takes time.
Yeah. So we'll let
And
you
I know
know.
like the Real Shorts
Well,
service,
it
I think
probably won't happen ever if we're doing it, so
It
a
won't.
little bit of time is perfectly fine.
How old are you, Tanya?
28
You're actually a
this
little
year.
older than I thought. I don't know why I was thinking mid 20s, but
No, that's also because like I think maybe because Asians just look like kids.
yeah. Well,
That's
that
what I'm told. Like I still go overseas, like even in my 20s, I still go overseas and I still get the students pass. And I
mhm,
dress like a kid in the gym as well.
Hmm.
So
yeah. I actually, it's really funny because I think you can tell, and obviously this is not a hard rule, okay? Because I dress cutesy in the gym too sometimes, but I think that you can really tell like what level people are at based on how homeless they look when they're training. And the more advanced you
that's
are,
true
the
though.
dingier
Hmm.
you look when you get there because you're not there for the clout, you're there to work
Yeah.
out. So you're there in whatever's
When I first
comfortable.
started training, I was one of those girls, like in the gym shirt, matching bra. I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if
then
you're
as
decked out in
I
like
found
Youngblood
out
and
exactly.
Gymshark or Buff Bunny or whatever her name is, like I just
And then now off season, as I got bigger, I just didn't want things to just stick on
Yeah,
me.
it's uncomfortable.
yeah, yeah,
It's hard to remove a sports bra.
yeah, I get that. Um, and then normally I show up in like extra large, like thermal and like sweatpants, and then I'll like strip down as I get warmer
Yeah.
because I get super sweaty. But yeah, it's funny. Like I think the more advanced you get, the more rough you look in the gym.
Dude, I wore those violate the dress code
Mhm.
leggings that I finally got, and they definitely like they did the most for my butt. Like, thank you so much. That picture that I posted the other day. But those fucking things are so tight on the waist. It was one of those where I like wore them to the like I changed at work and wore them to and like in the car and on the way into the gym. I was like, oh no, these are gonna be so uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah,
And it's like it's all like I'm like, God, I wish I just had a pair of sweatpants to change into or something. Yeah.
that's funny.
Hmm.
I'm trying to
Usually,
think.
the better you look in them, the more uncomfortable you are. Unfortunately, sadly.
Yes, some of those that have like I know my Thriving leggings, girl, they're a workout putting on because they have that compression under the butt.
Yeah.
And I actually don't like the waistband of them, so I probably won't buy them because, like you, the
Hmm.
waistband is
Hmm.
supposed to be tummy control. But if it's going to be
Yeah.
tummy control, that crap better go up to the smallest part of my waist. You can't tummy control over your love handles. Then you
Yeah.
look like a busted can
Yeah.
of biscuits. And so I'm just like, my butt looks good, but I can't take off my sweatshirt.
No, it really is. I got a pair of the TikTok leggings, and they're literally immediately going. I actually feel like I threw my back out a little bit putting those fucking things on. Like that's how hard they were to get
Are they
on.
the
I was like,
Halara
I
ones?
think they are Halara. I don't know. They were from
Oh, come
TikTok Shop, but
on.
I think they are Halara. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do the most for the booty,
I
but
do. I love
fuck,
them.
even going over my calves, I'm like, these are not meant for girls with calves. Like it was in, really crazy, but. Yeah. Yeah. If I saw you wearing, if you posted that on Instagram today, I'd probably like, well, I need those too. Just maybe I'll just wear them around, not to the gym.
I get that. Like, I like the Halara ones. They fit a lot better than the Thriving because the Thriving,
Hmm.
again, like every time I put them on, the problem is the compression are not made for people with quads that are
Hmm.
big. And so they actually, like, I have to, like, and then I have to pick my butt up and put it
Yeah.
over the compression. Like,
Put it
it's
into the
like a push-up
proper,
bra for your butt. It's so funny.
needs like a tutorial on how to shape your ass inside your leggings.
Yeah. They actually, Thriving comes with a card that
No, it
tells
does
you
not.
step by step how to put them on.
Oh my God.
There's instructions on how to
Well,
put
thank
on
you
your
so
leggings.
much. After I saw you in your outfit, I spent like $200. So I hope that my fat ass goes into those things properly. I actually got them more as like a running around. Like I know I won't wear those to the gym because they're too cute.
Leisure,
So
yeah,
yeah,
you'll love
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I do get a ton of compliments on them.
Hmm.
So I'm super excited that Tanya's working on my plan for when I get
Yeah,
cleared.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
I just wanted
awesome.
to say, feel like it was worth.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, your time and your money. Because like I didn't want it to be like, like just we are making do with what we have. I just told and I told like Heather like, it's just better if
Yeah.
you do just what you can at this moment. Because all Heather just honestly needs to do is to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not in a place to like pick and choose.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
it's I honestly like I'm going to the gym, but it's not fun training because I am so
Hmm.
limited. And I try to go in with an idea of like what I want to do. And so, like Tuesday, I went in and I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on hamstrings as much as I can today. So, we do have a really good standing arsenal, single leg curl. And then I did the V squat backwards, which I can do. It's a little bit only because the head pieces or the shoulder
Hmm.
pieces move. And so I can't, I'm
Oh,
like, why aren't these bolted down? And so
that's
that's,
crazy that they move.
it
Like
is.
they're supposed to move or they're loose.
I think they're supposed to move, like based on your, like which way you're doing it. But
Oh,
I don't like that. I think it's dangerous when you
I
have
never
weight
saw
there.
that.
Because I can't actually get all the way up under it. So I have to use the tips of the shoulder pads, so that my chest isn't like against the pad.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
that was okay. And then I did hip thrust and I did single leg press. And then I ended with some leg extensions. And then, and I always start every workout with walking lunges because my legs hate them, but they get
Mhm.
me warmer than anything. Um, and then so Friday, I'm going to focus on glutes. And I think I'm going to try to do no weight cable lateral raises, like just with a cuff, no weight, just put some kind of pump into my
Mhm.
shoulders because it doesn't actually activate my chest to do that. Um, but I'll have to see how that feels. And then maybe another hip thrust and some glute kickbacks and add abductors,
Oh yeah,
and
in
some
July,
calves.
probably send Heather the standing abductor variation that I've been getting you to do.
Yeah, that is so incredibly hard. I took a video of it this week too. I have never felt my
Hey,
upper glute. It's the upper hip area. Like
that's that
I told
shelf,
Corey
baby.
that
Let's build it.
it's literally like the most deep, intense stinging. Like
Yeah, like
I I
inside
couldn't believe how much I
the
just
inside would be the one inside.
it's very specific targeted area that I have not felt before. Like,
I
and you
love
can't,
that.
yeah, it's really, I was like, damn, that hurts. Like,
So,
that burns.
Tanya, I want to look like a figure competitor with a wellness butt.
Yep. Don't we
I
all,
don't care if I
sweetie?
get points deducted. Okay,
Don't
I
we all,
want to walk
sweetie?
around with a dump truck.
So in my head, when Heather says that, I was like, she already has like a fucking fantastic lower body. What's she talking
Yeah.
Thank
about?
you.
Okay, I did looking like that side shot. Like yesterday, she posted this picture of
Yeah.
herself.
Oh no,
Always
I commented
my
on it.
favorite pose, my favorite pose on me. I was like, that's my favorite pose on you too.
Yeah.
Hamstrings.
I love that pose.
That is
I like it on a
definitely a
lot of
great shot.
people because I think it just shows
Hmm.
good symmetry and it's very feminine.
Hmm.
Mm.
But I'm ready to get some volume back in my upper. I'm pretty pleased with how much muscle in my upper has stuck because I do grow my lower body a lot easier than my upper, and I was afraid because I do feel like I made a good bit of progress in my reverse phase, and I was really scared that I was going to lose a lot of that new tissue because it hadn't had
Hmm.
time to like sit. And I probably
Mm.
have lost a little bit of it. But I think, I do think my body is going to be primed to grow. And we did find that fragmented follistatin. Um, so I got some and I'm going to
Hmm.
try it when we get the go ahead. And it's going to be one of those things. And I'll talk about this a little bit because I think it's an interesting topic. But I want to try it. And Johnny is really cool if I tell him, like, hey, we're in an off season. I want to guinea pig this peptide because I
Hmm.
want to know what it does if I'm going to ever prescribe it. But he's also, because we'll bounce off of each other. Like, he asked what I thought about SS31 before MOTS-C. And I was
Hmm.
like, I think it's great conceptually, but let's do it. Like, let me do it and we'll see what it does. And
Yeah.
so, we have that kind of back and forth. And I think it's important for you to challenge your coach. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
it makes them better. It makes you better, and kind of going back into like my very first prep. when I started with a coach that had no idea what he was doing, but I didn't know that he had no idea what he was doing because I had no idea what I was doing. And especially as women, I think it's incredibly
Mm-hmm.
important that we are researching the compounds we are being asked to do. Um, Understanding or talking to a health professional or someone in like a little bit more, or ask your coach. Because if your coach cannot answer the justification of why they're putting you on something, then they don't know. They're using some kind of
Mm-hmm.
cookie cutter
And
method.
it's just like basically they're just shooting in the
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah. And so
Mm-hmm.
if they can't speak to why they're asking you to do a certain compound or give you those instructions on this is where the dosing usually lies, this is where I'm putting you, and this is why. But I
Mm,
think it's perfectly within our rights as athletes and as women, especially to ask those questions because male hormones are super easy. Okay. You can throw whatever at them and they rebound because men make
Mm-hmm.
sperm their whole lives. Women only have a set reserve of eggs and fertility markers. So if you mess up a female, you have the potential to mess them up permanently. And so it's really important that as athletes, in whatever realm, whatever level that you are at, that you are researching, but it's also okay to ask to try other things,
Mm-hmm.
like Retta, like if an athlete hadn't have asked, or you know what I mean? Like if someone hadn't have prompted that conversation, then we would have missed this whole space in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I
yeah.
think you can be an athlete that is not being a bad athlete. That's not
Yeah.
being like insubordinate or anything like that. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
a smart person. I have this pro figure girl that I'm coaching, and I know she's been doing this a long time. I know that she knows her body very well. So that
Mm-hmm.
feedback, what she knows works for her, what doesn't, is valuable. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so, anyway, I
Yeah,
got a
and
rant.
that's also the sign of a good coach that you can collaborate with them to a certain degree and that they're willing and also definitely like you said, your athlete's been uh she has experience and knows her body. And so
Yeah.
that's why it's like, you know, like if you're asked to do a certain compound and you know that maybe you don't respond well or it gives you anxiety or whatever, and you can say like, can we
I
try
think
this instead? Go ahead, Tanya.
it's also how the message comes across, right? Like how you
Mm-hmm.
are asking your coach,
Right.
because
Yeah.
Heather, you're a coach yourself, and now like I coach athletes. I have come to see, and from what I've seen, it also depends on how well you know the individual. I always give people benefit of the doubt, but I'm speaking to like other friends who are also coaches. Sometimes when athletes ask me, they can try certain things. My question back to them is, what place are you coming from to try? Because sometimes people ask because they just want to use it just because.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They want to plant the seed there and like, poke the
Yep.
bear a little bit versus actually being curious enough to ask. So sometimes like, what like give you an example with, Heather and Johnny, you're asking about trying the peptide. It's off season. So number one, that's the context. And then number two, where are you in the off season? Because I believe in making sound decisions when it comes to like actually proposing things to your coach, because you're not going to try something that you typically use in prep in the off season.
Right.
Okay, that so it depends on what you're using, but like it's like Heather, like where is she in the off season, and does it make sense at this point of time as a phase for the experiment to actually come through to actually make sense?
Yeah, that's totally right. And then when I first started with Morph, I mean, it was 2023. Like GLPs were not utilized like they are now. Like Retta
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even
Oh
a thing
God,
yet.
no.
And I had
They were actually frowned upon by most
a
coaches.
lot of them were,
Yeah.
and I had some prep clients, not my clients, but I had some prep people under Morph that were asking me what I thought about it in a prep scenario. And I was very frank with telling them, I'm like, listen, you're in prep. I'm not comfortable messing up your prep because I don't know what this drug really does to digestion yet. And I don't know if slowing down digestion is going to impact your ability to lose fat. And so I'm not willing to do it when you're 6 weeks out from a pro show, until I have personally have tried it and have seen what it does. And so that was when I decided to guinea pig tirzepatide. One, I wanted to know what it felt like. Because I like, we get a monthly credit so that we can try our products, so that we can like relay
Mm-hmm.
what what our experience and what we feel and what side effects we get or whatever. And so I'm not saying everybody should be a lab rat, okay? Like I'm
Can you turn that back
educated.
on?
Um, so, but once I tried it, I was like, okay, I didn't lose any muscle tissue. It really helped me. And so now, or after that, I was like, yeah, we can certainly use it in this space. I feel more comfortable with it because I have now experienced what it feels like, and I didn't lose any muscle, and it did help me. Like I lost like 7 pounds in like 2 weeks. That's inflammation weight. You don't lose fat that
Hmm.
fast, but the way that it dropped my inflammation markers. And so I thought that's kind of the benefit of being able to try, but that's also the benefit of like educating yourself. I guess the other side of that though is there's a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of inaccurate information out there.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, just like Tanya said, like from twisting it a little bit, I get patients that come to me and they're like, hey, I want to start this peptide. And my question is, what are you looking to get out of it?
Right.
Like, what did you read online that made you want this peptide? Because maybe that is the right peptide, maybe it's not. Maybe there's something better for what you're actually looking for, And so I do think it needs to be a conversation between you and your coach or whoever. But, I think that building your own knowledge is a tool and a resource and actually makes you a better athlete and not like I don't think you should have to be like a robot to your like you shouldn't just succumb to whatever your coach tells you. And again,
Mhm.
you're right, tone, right? So I'm not
Tone, context,
I'm
all of
not
it. Yeah.
coming at Johnny. What the heck are you doing this
Mhm.
for? It's hey, can you explain to me because and I even presented as, hey, I like to learn. Like when he switched me from Primo and Anavar to Winstrol and Masteron, I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm doing so well on this. What's your rationale for switching me? Like, just help me understand.
Mhm.
And he was able to explain, well, it's going to give you a harder, grainier look. Um, and usually I switch you at this time because we'll get harder going into the show or whatever. And he's like, and it's enough time to where if you don't respond well to them, we can just revert back. And so, but I mean, like, I didn't know that. I learned something out of that. And
Mhm.
so,
I'm
anyway,
very curious though, speaking of like that, because I know like the men have their opinion, like a lot of guys would, like with Primo versus Mastron, it's a matter of like which one they feel better on, which one controls their estrogen better when they are on the test, because
mhm.
it has to balance the ratios accordingly. But I've never really had a chance to like ask other women as well. Do you find there's a difference with how you feel and how you look on the two?
Yes,
I personally don't feel a difference with how I feel, but in terms of fullness, I love Primo.
Mhm.
I like the way that I look better on Primo than I do on Masteron.
Mm,
Um, and I like Primo and Anavar. I feel better, but also I've only ever done Masteron with Winstrol, and they were both new compounds to me.
mhm,
And so I think that I had a healthier look to me before, but that's kind of the point of Winstrol and Masteron is to give you that hard, grainy look to you. But I
yeah,
think I didn't realize it in the time frame. I realize it now. I think emotionally I was a lot more absent on the harsher compounds than I was on Primo. But I do know a lot of that is estrogen, being driven down, and that's because that's what they do. But Primo does too. Primo crashes estrogen really easy.
yeah.
Um,
Because acts more like blocking at the receptor, so it blocks the estrogen receptor. That's what Mastron does, and then Primo just lowers overall E2 in the
mhm.
body.
Yeah, and so, but I do like that. I agree with the switch. I think my issue was that I think we just dieted too much. Like I think we just came in too flat. But
Yeah, if I could like give you my own feedback, like at
yeah,
least from what I saw, I've thought like your sweet spot was like 4 or 5 weeks out.
I agree.
Like because that's when like I saw like everyone was looking at his and I was like,
When I hit 148 pounds, which was really funny because when I started prep, my mental prep goal weight was 148 for myself. Nothing to do with anything Johnny
Mhm.
said. I just knew I was 150 pounds on stage at North Americans. I knew I could have been about 10 pounds leaner. And I was like, and I know I've put on tissue in the meantime. I was like, so I'm thinking get down to 146, 147 and still show at 150. Well, when I hit 148, Johnny said, okay, we're there. We just need to maintain. And then I dropped 7 more pounds before show. And I think those 7 pounds took a lot of my
Mm,
back density out. Granted, my legs look great, but my legs look fine, 7 pounds heavier too. And
Mm.
so, and when you look at like Tupelo, I was definitely leaner than everybody else, and that's not what they chose. They chose a softer look, and they chose shape over that extra crispy conditioning. And that's okay. I mean, that's what figure's not supposed to be women's physique hard. And the judges actually told me, they were like, we were following your progress pictures and we were worried you were going to come in too lean.
Right.
interesting.
But they were like, don't get any leaner. So I gained like 3 or 4 pounds to go into Florida and Atlanta, but I didn't feel like it was a good looking 4 pounds. I still feel like I looked flat. Um, so I
Yeah,
do
no,
think
because it's one of those things like once you hit that point, it's actually pretty hard to like
to
get
dig
out of.
out of it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I do think I need to fill up on more than like Chex cereal.
Hmm.
That's what he was carving me up with. And my body just blows through it.
Mm. What if you add a little bit of fat to
Yeah.
slow it?
I think so. Because we were doing like Chex Mix and honey. Now he does let me eat like a Dunkin' blueberry muffin an hour before stage, which is awesome. But I think if I threw like some like almond butter on it or something, it would help those carbs stick.
Yeah, could see that.
But yeah. So
Well,
Angela, when did you sign back up with Justin?
Uh, t- well, technically this last week.
I
We've
feel
been
alone on
talking
my
for since the
little
beginning of the
island
month.
as the non-Jacoby athlete of my friends.
Aw,
I'm like, I'm the only one over here.
you're still in the circle.
I know. I'm still connected. I'm just not Coach Vito.
Uh, yeah, we've been talking for about a month, but he wanted me to get some consistency and obviously he was of course on board with Tanya and just get some a little bit of time and like we thought I would lose more water before an actual check-in to see what if I would like balance out a little bit. But we're trucking along. We're doing okay. Oh, Lily, just put her tongue right in my mouth. Jesus.
Yum.
Good Lord. She's like, you will pay attention to me. Look at she wants to be on the podcast.
That's so funny.
Um,
She looks at you the way my Frenchies look at me, which is just like Potato just looks at me like, I love you, Mama. Just I would
she's
die
like,
for you.
please just let me be on the podcast.
Lily,
But
no
yeah,
buttholes today.
no, I think that could happen actually because she keeps trying. I'm like angling her away.
Tanya, Lily likes to show us her butthole
No,
on
what I have
video.
to send you this picture. I'm gonna send it in the group chat when you send it. But one of Corey's check-ins, Lily likes to like get into the check-in, and it's literally she's like direct, like she's ass up in his check-in. It's like it is. I was like, oh my God, he sent me his check-in pictures that day, and it's just Lily's asshole and his giant body.
I
He
think
knows.
check-in videos and photos are some of the funniest things to me ever. I
Mhm.
especially for people that have animals, but you almost I created like several years ago like a blooper reel of like my check-ins where I go to check in and I almost fall over or I trip over a dog or like my suit unsnaps or something.
Mm.
But like I look back at some pictures I've sent Johnny and I'm like, my tits like almost hanging out. Like I didn't notice that like my nipples almost showing. And then one of my friends, her husband, out. Let me get myself together.
That is like my greatest fear though, is a booby
Yeah,
popping
I think
out.
we
Like
get that
I
He
always
next
had a
week
check on
nut
those.
very
sticking out.
often.
He didn't realize his balls were not in his suit.
Oh
Oh,
God bless.
I just think that's so funny.
That can
He
happen.
said that his coach had thought it was a shadow and that it was fine, but it's his testicle hanging out of his suit.
Uh,
So
that is
now,
actually worse than a nip slip, you know?
now I always go check my photos really well. And I'm like, are all lips and nips in? Like, can you see anything? Oh my God. That was oh so funny.
yeah, that's all. That's like my biggest fear. That's definitely something we check on before we send anything for sure.
No, I think like that's something that you better check on before you post any of your check-ins on Instagram.
That actually did that happen.
It happened to you? It happened to Corey?
Like last week, what you just
Really?
said. Yeah. There was
Oh,
1,000 views before it was noticed.
Well, I didn't notice, thankfully. But well, what are you girls looking at? You know? Okay, that's funny. I'll switch
Oh,
gears.
it was
I
bad. No, stop.
I had a patient yesterday and he made a dad joke and then he made a joke about himself making bad dad jokes. And so we spent 15 minutes sharing terrible jokes on our
Bad
call.
jokes. Oh my God.
My my it's so dumb and I'm not going to be able to say it without losing my mind. I got it off a Laffy Taffy wrapper like 20 years ago. Are y'all ready?
Give
well,
it
I'm
to
here
us.
for it.
We're waiting.
What do you call a cow with a twitch?
A cow with a twitch.
Beef jerky.
No, I'm laughing at Heather laughing at herself,
I
you
know
know.
how bad that is.
I don't know why it cracks me up so bad. Oh, I think it's so funny.
That's a
Turkey.
good one though.
Why don't ants ever get sick? Because they have little antibodies.
Oh my
That's
God.
cute though.
That's a
That's
bad
good.
one.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Oh my God.
oh God. Oh, okay. I'm done, I think. Oh
Dude, my
man.
legs are so sore today. Oh my, it's not even like sore. It my leg, that's another thing is like my body is sore in a different way than it was before. Like my legs feel like my quads feel like they're in vice grips, like if that makes sense. And my
Just tight.
quads, like when I did the stairs this morning, yeah, it just feels there's like they're just so heavy. And I'm like, it's not even in a bad way. Like it feels good, but it is just
Or
it's intense. Yeah, like it's a more of like I can just tell they're like getting more sore and like worked in a different way than they ever were before, which is crazy to me because I felt like I trained hard before. It's not like I didn't train hard, but
I
um
think it's you just move better so you're more accurate right now because like
mhm.
how I sequence stuff is like to make sure that one exercise primes you for the next one.
Which I do know that. So my gym is really good. It has a lot of good equipment, but there's only like one or two pieces. Like there's only one cable machine and one Smith machine. So like one day I was like, I really try to stay in the order because I know you're sequencing it on purpose. Like there's a purpose to that. But this kid is doing like he's on the cables for like ever, and I'm like, how long can I wait between like come on? And it was one of the ones
Yeah,
where
of
I needed
course.
to like put the bench in. Oh, it was cable bench supported cable roll, so it wasn't like I could work in with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I needed that space.
base.
But yeah, that definitely I can really feel that there's a reason to the sequencing. And you know what else is like deceptively hard? Just while we're on the topic, is dead bugs. Like,
Dead bugs?
what the
Yeah.
fuck? Why are those so hard? Like, they get you,
What's a
but
It's
dead
like
bug?
you're gonna
you know
learn.
like
You're
the
gonna learn
exercise
soon.
when yeah.
The amount of times Angela texts me telling me how your workouts kick her tail. I told her, I was like, I'm already sold, Angela. I'm
I
already
know.
signing up.
I
Okay.
just like need to tell someone. I'm like, I have a dumpy. Like, I literally like yesterday. I'm like, this is what
She
black
sends me
girls feel
butt pics.
like.
She's like, look at my butt.
But
I love it.
it's true though, because like Angela's not the only one that started reacting this way. Like from the kind of feedback that I get is that when someone is trying to tell their friends what it's like with the programming,
Mm,
it's like I can't explain it until you go through it and you understand what I mean. Like there's a
yeah,
specific feeling with
exactly.
that kind of precision.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But the dead bugs are very hard. But I also feel like that whole, even just that little bit, but because I'm doing it consistently and a few times a week, like I definitely feel like, which is crazy because I'm holding a lot of water around my waist, but I feel like my core is getting stronger already.
Yeah,
Like,
makes a
yeah,
big
but
difference.
dead bugs, I don't know if they ever get really easier, especially when you're really focused on your breathing the whole time.
No,
And
it gets harder in a way because you also get more accurate. So in a sense,
mm,
at the beginning, you hit failure faster. To a certain
hmm. Yeah, the first week I did it, I was like, okay, I can do like five of these at a time, which is like so stupid. I used to
Mhm.
do those a lot in CrossFit when, I owned a CrossFit gym for 7 years. And we always had like a 15-minute like mobility warm, like that was a part of like our WOD for the day. And we did dead bugs and bird dogs and a lot of that. Like, and I was pretty good at them at that time. But that was a long time ago. So then when I was like, oh, dead bugs, I got this. And I'm like, okay, I can do three. I can do three per side without stopping. That's cool. I'm completely out of shape.
Not me
That's nice.
Googling what a dead bug is while y'all
YouTubing.
talk.
Yeah.
But that's good though. I'm like the feedback that Angela has been giving me has been really great. Like really happy to hear that. I think more importantly is just on when how she feels when she wakes up. If you feel less over time with what's usually causing you pain, then you know we're on the right track because you're not in. Why I give like like breath, I give breath work as well. Kind of like to also work on the posture and the symmetry because all of us have this set default posture that we go into with the nervous system, especially when we are stressed, or we're like highly strung, or when we're hitting fatigue, past fatigue with like a couple of exercises.
Hmm.
Now that I'm aware, for me, I realize that I like to hike my right hip up, like just tense, and I like to do that, and that's something I notice. And then with others, I notice that they'll cause that kind of pattern in a different way. It could be like a shoulder that way is why someone gets their traps a little bit, a bit of niggles over there, and we all have that. So like with Angela, like I don't like let's not push anything past failure just yet. I just want to reprime your nervous system to kind of like get out of that default.
What do you think when you do like when you are kind of like hitting past, like going past, and what you said, and like, when you could feel like your nervous system has been like a little triggered, like that did happen on my back day. It was the first time it's happened on this program. I did like, I can feel that I can move a lot more weight. I got a lot of testosterone in my body right now. So like I can feel like things are feeling lighter, but I'm also like, I don't want to hurt myself like to do more than what I need to. So like I did on the T-bar rows, I felt like I like had triggered my central nervous system on that last top set. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Where you feel that like oof, like a little bit of
Yeah.
anxiety after almost like, and I can't like reel myself back in. Well, I can. It just takes a while, like you need to go through like,
It will come down after a
yeah.
while.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
will
it
say,
feels like weird.
when you start any kind of new workout plan, you do have to kind of like the very first time I do any new workout plan, I'm not going to go full out on any of the first exercises
Mm-hmm.
because it shocks your CNS and it can also cause almost like a flu-like syndrome because the
Mm-hmm.
body's just like in like just, oh my gosh, what did you just do?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And especially
Mm-hmm.
like with our nerves as people that are super muscular, like our nerves are like already kind of
It's true. It's true.
limited, and so when you do any kind of different movement that the body's not used to, those nerves are having to kind of like redirect. And so it can cause you to feel like really, really sick if you do push
Mm-hmm.
yourself past or really, really hard on something that's completely new to you. It's just like you wouldn't start running and immediately run a marathon. You would ease into it. And so you kind of have to do that with any new training program.
Yeah. It's just wild, like what can trigger that though too, because like had my I'd never really felt like my CNS like so yes on a back day, but not really like a T-bar row. Like usually it's going to be like on a heavier compound like a squat or something like that. And then that was I was kind of like took me by surprise on the last couple reps of the set when I was like, ooh, like that got me good. Like I can feel that, you know?
And sometimes we wonder like how people get injured randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's really like nervous system, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I found like this past off season because it's like the biggest off season that I've made like the most amount of progress within a short span of time. But I realize it also comes at a cost. And I think a lot of people don't talk about it because with how like I was like just changing week to week, I can feel like there's a lot of compression behind the lower back or like elsewhere. And the way you move and your mobility also changes.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I used to professionally dance, and now, like, I go to pick something off the floor, and I'm like, oh, oh God, everything hurts. And so, I do think one thing I like about the way that you program training is that you also do some mobility work,
Mm-hmm.
and that core strengthening. Like, I do train abs 3 times a week. I always have, but I just do leg raises and I do weighted rope crunches, and it's worked well. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's not necessarily the best stability work. And with me doing like Krav Maga and stuff, like I can definitely tell this last month I haven't moved as much. Like I thought my body would feel so much better with a month off. It feels so much worse. It feels so much tighter. I don't feel like because I have been very guarded. I haven't moved a whole lot. And so like I stretched the other day just like this. My sternum got sore
Hmm.
from stretching. And I was like, well, you can tell I've been like this for a month. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
mm.
But
Well, my style, I mean, out of all the people doing like training programming, like that's what they do. I know like Nick Groff has his way of doing things. Like, they just all of us have like a different style, a different principle that we go by. And I know like Amanda has like her way as well. My style has mostly it's more of like rehab without doing the rehab. I will give the mobility exercises if required. Like, like Angela, you see the couple of things that maybe like a bit of
Hmm.
like just with like the toe push downs at the
Hmm.
start of the workout, that kind of thing. But for the most part, like to me, a lot of the rehab work to fix someone's system is in the setup itself of the exercise, because you can go and see your physio. Physios, they do a lot of proprioceptive kind of training whereby it's teaching you awareness without loading. But the problem
Yeah.
where a lot of problems come about is when people are, maybe at the stretch, like end of the stretch range or like the shortened range, and then you're hitting failure, and that's where the problem actually begins. And rehab does not do that. So that's why you can go and do all the body work that you want it on the physio, but if your training is not,
Hmm.
it's just not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like it's just re-triggering the whole thing all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it definitely it can help, but like you said, you're not under tension doing those exercises in your physical therapist office. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think it's made a big difference for me already. So, and only a month in, so that's like such a short amount of time. So that's exciting.
yeah, I just want to make sure like I'm a huge advocate for planks, for everyone, more so like TVA, but just simply looking at anatomy, like, your obliques connect from your ribs down to your hips. So all of us, we are all rotated somewhere. Like I know I'm always more rotated forward, or like back on one side. And then maybe like, Angela, you have like both your QLs or like your SI just firing up because
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly an imbalance with the obliques sometimes. So just getting you to do like the side planks, it just balances out
Yep.
it will get you to strengthen your QL concurrently with your obliques. And then when your obliques are fired up and they are strengthened, what it does is that it tugs on the ribs and the hips to kind of like pull them into alignment evenly. So I like to
Mm-hmm.
get people started there and hit your workout.
Yep. I'm doing them. They're still hard. I am shocked at how hard a 45-second side plank is, but yeah, and we're doing them.
side
But I
planks
do feel,
are hecka hard.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think like people butcher doing the plank properly as well.
Hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, I pride myself on my planks from my CrossFit background. I will say that, and I do see people in the gym doing kind of crazy planks, but I will send you videos of my planks if you like.
Like I told you, like
Absolutely.
I'm here to look through like whatever.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm still definitely focused on like the breathing and trying to keep like my proper alignment in place, but definitely open for making it better no matter what, because if it's gonna make me feel better in everything that I do.
Breathing is a very big difference.
Hmm.
Because you forget to breathe in your set, you're like, oh, and you
Hmm.
feel it much better when you breathe out, when you hit the set.
Absolutely. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Especially if you do get a little anxiety with lifting, like that's and so when you start to move like heavier loads and things like that, and you're really like it's like okay, like you can breathe while you're doing this. You don't have to hold your breath in fear that you're gonna fucking break yourself.
Yeah.
Breathing was one thing I had to work really hard on, especially with like heavy compound movements.
Hmm.
Because I would, and again, that comes with maturity in the sport too. But Tanya actually posted something a while ago about ab control, and it really resonated with me. Like, a lot of people do blow out their stomachs and you push that stomach out to brace yourself when you should be pushing down and contracting it in and tightening it. So that's actually a change that I made to my own training, especially like hack squats or something where you want to like blow out and really push your stomach out to brace yourself, like actually like bringing it down and in. It protects my back too.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought it was more intuitive to breathe in and down though, rather than breathing the stomach out to go down.
Hmm.
Not for everybody, because then like even when because a lot of people, like some people diaphragm breathe and some people belly breathe, you know? And so that's one thing too with like doing vacuums or holding. When I posed with Andrea
In
Shaw,
fact, I noticed very few people actually diaphragm breathe. I gotta teach most people how to do it. Most people, you are either a chest breather or you're a belly breather because
exactly.
all of us try to breathe the same way that we do in posing.
Hmm.
When actually the way you breathe in training is different. That's the tough part.
Elaborate. Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay. So when you pose, you try to breathe here, so you don't breathe because you don't want like because even diaphragm it was just up and
Right.
down like yeah. But it's very shallow breath. Like for me, at least when I started training, I was always like shallow breath, and it didn't help that I was like one of those who started my first couple of seasons wearing a waist trainer. So it was like just really crunching in and sucking in.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're crunching and sucking in a little bit too much, that's when I realized like the asymmetries in my lower back weakness started to happen. Because I'm not breathing right. So you're just not getting any air to get the ribs to expand, the lower back to expand. And
Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. One thing Drea had me do when we were doing posing sessions, and it really like it was interesting. It was not anything that I had ever considered doing. Um, sorry, I'm trying to pick a background for our group. So
Um,
I was like, I gotta pick something pretty. I put it down now. But I posed with Andrea and then I posed with Christina after, and she was like, "You have incredible core control." And I was like, "Yeah, because Drea drilled me. Like I had to hold minute-long poses with vacuums in every pose, like for a
wow.
minute.
Wow.
Like, but you can't do that.
Wow.
Like I had to
Yeah.
work my way up. But when I tell you, like it really conditioned me for stage. Like it's something
Hmm.
I need to start doing it more in my off season. I am bad about posing in my off season.
Hmm.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
I am terrible at it. And it's just because like I'm not uncomfortable with my posing, but I need to get better and I want to kind of redo my routines. It's a good time to
Hmm.
start practicing. But especially when you have that extra weight, like getting that core control and like trying to control. She was like, just breathe really slowly through your nose. And she made me hold those poses with a vacuum and smiling. I was like, I hate you. This sucks so bad. Can I stop? And she's like, oh, you're deflating. Reset. I'm like, I don't want to pose with
Oh.
you anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
having a good time. But she's excellent to pose with. She really is. Plus, Sid taught her all of like the figure posing. So, um, but you can book with Drea through her Instagram, whoever is interested. She's really good. And she's good at teaching that conditioning too.
Hmm.
So when I do
Yeah.
my posing clinics in person, like we do the last 6 minutes doing 1 minute holds on every pose. And I
Wow.
make them, I'll set a timer. They have 5 seconds to transition and get in their sets, and then we hold it. And a lot of times, especially if they're in prep, I'll make them video it so they can see how much they flatten out, or like, like you'll lose some of
Relax.
your,
Yeah.
yeah. It makes a big difference, and they hate it, and I love it. I love making them do it. I'm
I should
like, it
probably get
sucks, doesn't it?
I should probably get cracking on that because like women's physique got like so many more posts. I'm like, oh shit, like 1 minute for each.
Yeah, it's rough. When I did women's physique at North Americans, they posed us like because I didn't pull water for North Americans. You can't pull my water. I look really bad if you do. And so I had like almost normal water intake going into the day. And when I got done posing, like this poor man, like I got off stage, I was dripping in sweat. Like this poor guy, and he was not being inappropriate. He didn't think anything of it. He was just trying to help me. He's like dabbing me off everywhere. And I'm like, I got
Hmm.
it. I got it. Like you're touching me too much. But I had to go get retanned before I could do figure because I had sweat off my tan
Wow.
by a whole, like, because I didn't condition train my posing like I should have for women's physique because those poses are hard to hold because you have to
Do you
flex
like the posing
everything.
better, Tanya, for women's physique?
I've been actually enjoying it. Like
You
I think
are?
like everyone has been like really enjoying like my pictures every time I post them
Mm-hmm.
because everyone was like you can just see like she's just in it. Like
Mm. Aw, good.
It suits you so well, and like I told you, at the end of the day, it's whatever makes you happy, and I think women's physique is a great home for you because, and it's, you know, um, we talked about it a little bit, but the decision to make that switch is knowing that that's where you're headed anyway, and letting the judges see you and getting used to you in that division and seeing what you can bring and then watching you grow
yeah.
because they love to see that progress. Like they will reward that. They want to see you grow from show to show. So,
Mom was not a fan of the decision at first because she was like, but she was like, because she was thinking a bit about the muscularity standpoint. She was like, with the muscle that you have now, she said, you might be close to qualifying in figure. She said, she said, wouldn't it be like, you're pulling yourself far away from what the end goal is. But to me, like, I've never been one of those that was ever in a rush to qualify because I was
Mm-hmm.
just in my head, it's like Olympia is like one of those things that if it's in your cards this lifetime, it will happen.
mhm.
Mm.
And it
Okay.
honestly, it doesn't matter.
And I don't think it's entirely about muscularity either.
No.
No, it's not. And that's what I was gonna say is it's not a size contest. And I think this is a point I wanted to make, so I'm glad we got here. I think with the way the female divisions are going, I think that as women get more muscular, that we need to be supportive and encouraging them to move up divisions because that's going to keep the other divisions in check.
Mm-hmm.
If we allow as women figure to continue getting bigger and bigger, it's going to happen. And
Right.
we need
That is
to
very
allow
true.
ourselves to move up into those divisions because it's going to keep a governor on the size, and we
Mm-hmm.
can control the standard by where we are choosing to compete, and
Mm-hmm.
I do think figures getting bigger and bigger, and I don't think it's being rewarded at the Olympia level. Look at Rhea. She's 130 pounds. She's
Mm-hmm.
not massive. They told her to downsize her back. And with you, Tanya, and I say this as a compliment, your erectors, I think, take you out of figure. Your erectors are so big. I love them. Your back is just so dense.
Right here
And
again.
but
I feel
it's
like I
your
have to go look
back
at your
density.
pictures like right now, now
Your
that she
back
said that. Let me
density to me is
just,
what puts you in women's physique because you just have your erectors are so big. But anyway,
Yeah, I think like that's what they told Rhea as well because Rhea has very good developed erectors from all the deadlifting and all the
oh, yes, I see that now too.
because
I'm
her
they keep
looking,
back,
using
I mean,
your
she's,
face.
I'm looking at your erectors just now. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Um,
I appreciate that feedback.
I mean, it's good feedback. You know,
Thank you.
I think you have an incredible shape, and I love your good bubbly muscle. And like I said, because your waist is so tiny, you don't have to be super big to look big. Because Brittany, she's a top five Olympian. She's not big.
Yeah,
Natalia's not big. She's shapely.
like Brittany reminds me of a female mini Ronnie Coleman. Like you look at her
Yeah,
proportion.
Mm,
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see
so
that
cool.
for sure. I'm having to
Yeah,
go look at Tanya's pictures now because I just want to.
yeah.
no, I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
that. Hopefully everything else would flow fit nicely with women's physique because I do
Hmm.
think like probably at the point where muscularity would be maybe when I start cutting would be okay. More like in line with figure. I would probably still be told that I need more muscle in women's physique. But to me, having been like taking the year off, like at some point, I think it's important to go back on just on stage, just to get the rhythm going and
Hmm.
get that
And
stage experience.
get seen because that's important. Time on stage is important. Um, and the
Like
more
what
out you get,
like I said, like
say again.
see, might as well get seen in the division you're headed to anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And like if my feedback ever was that I either needed a downsize or move to women's physique, I would move to women's physique. Um, I just been told to grow for figure still, so but I do think it's because I came in so flat. But No, I think it's a great move, and I'm super excited for you.
No, I
Would you
appreciate all the
color
support.
suit you're gonna wear?
I'm thinking about it.
You don't have
I'm
to announce it. I'm just curious if you know.
no, no, I'm not one of those that like likes to like
Right.
cover up
Mm-hmm.
because it's like when people know it's like, all right, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
so, um, I've thought about like because I love the idea of like hot pink mashed with teal.
With teal?
Yeah,
That'd be
hot
pretty.
pink teal, like yeah, like almost like rainbow unicorn, and that's like kind of like similar to what I wore for my pro debut. It's just the blue was not as obvious, and I'm gonna have my tailor style a little bit differently. The other thing is like the other idea I had was like more like black and pink, and silver would also be nice.
Black and pink is very pretty. And especially with your complexion. Like you could do a black base or even a pink base with, but like, oh girl, like look at that color scheme.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is so cool though. This is really cool.
This is what I do is I
It
get on
is.
Pinterest and I type in color aesthetics and then I
Mm-hmm.
save it in I have a
That looks like you a little bit though, Heather.
it
That's like
does,
you
but
with
I
a
like
little bit
it for
of with a
Tanya.
little
But I have
leopard
like my
vibe underneath.
I have a whole I'm trying to make it where it's not so bright, but
Mm.
whatever. I have a whole like suit inspo. Wow, that makes me look really bad. Let's fix that. This camera has six different lights on it. And I only like one of them. But I do, I have my whole like suit inspo, like my hot pink and red. And then I love this kind of like teal and purple.
Mhm.
But but yeah, I'll send you some teal and hot pink
That would
aesthetics
be
to
so
send with your
helpful.
suit.
Inspo.
Would be so helpful. I took because my tailor is also Chinese, so I'm like, it would be cool if we actually had some like Asian Chinese kind of patterns over there.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a little different too. I like that. I
I'm gonna
like that
screenshot
idea.
some and send it in the group. I love it.
Are you excited to not have to wear heels anymore? Do you feel like you can pose better without the heels?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Uh-huh.
So much easier. It's not that I really have.
Mhm.
It helps. It really
It does.
helps.
No,
Yeah.
nobody understands and let like especially men like they're posing as hard yes and they have a lot more mass on their body, but it is a whole nother level to have to pose in on your tippy toes, essentially.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you're on stage for half an hour and going rounds, and my feet
Mm-hmm.
are killing me. No matter
Mm-hmm.
how you try to practice that conditioning, you will feel it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And what it does to like your calves, like when you take them off, like you're just yeah, no. It that definitely is you have to condition yourself just to be in heels. Like you really do.
My favorite is when you catch the clen cramps when you're posing.
Mm-hmm.
You get this like
Mm-hmm.
massive Charlie horse somewhere random. And I get the worst cramps in the worst places. Like I actually have like one of my abs will tuck up under my rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to stretch this out? And it does it like you can see it go foop, and I'm like, ah! It's so weird. Uh,
Hi.
Yeah, for the most part, I've like really like I'm very thankful to see like how like because I posted like a intro reel to like how things were going to go, like like wanting to document things this year, and then like what was really
Mm-hmm.
nice subsequently when other like posts were being made like to kind of like put it out there. Like Meg and Brianni were very supportive, like they reached out, and that means a lot, right? Because
Absolutely, yeah.
like in a community where you actually do want people to be part of your division,
yeah.
especially when women's physique can figure out already like on a least priority level.
That's hot
Okay.
pink and black. You just can't tell how pink it is, but it's pretty. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna send it to you. But no, you're totally right. Like, I think the more muscular the division, the more camaraderie that there is because the division is smaller and smaller, and we're losing a lot of women's bodybuilding. We're losing a lot of women's physique shows because women aren't moving into those divisions. And so not only are you supporting what's best for you and your goals, but you're putting more attention into that division, which is going to give the sport more support. And so, like I do think we do need to spread ourselves out more. And I think that you have a lot of potential to be more competitive in women's physique, not because the pool is smaller. It is though. You're more likely to get seen when there's 10 of you on stage than when there's 40 of you on stage.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, and Justin says this a ton. There's a ton of women's physique girls hiding in figure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, it's like, and this is true for everything in life, like, and this could be maybe one of the reasons that they reposted you and are welcoming you is like competition makes you better. Like if you want to accept it or not, but like when you think you've gotten to the top and like and you're the only one doing it, you will naturally become complacent in
Hmm.
anything that you're doing. Like when you see somebody that's like, okay, this person has like potential, that's gonna make you step up your fucking game. When I see other businesses in my business like stepping up their game, I'm like, oh shit, like everybody needs that reminder. It's like human nature to become complacent.
Yeah.
So when you see like that's just how I am like, wow, like I'm more motivated by other figure pros than anybody else. Like it is super motivating to see like my friends do their like stay on their shit even through all their hardness, like through surgeries, through life obstacles, like working, whatever, I see them stay on the shit, that motivates me to be better. So like I just don't think there's any better motivation. And like they see you like, okay, we see you, like I need to step up my game. This girl's gonna be on stage with me this year, you
Honey
know?
train is coming, and
Yeah.
we're on board. Woo-hoo.
Well, I'll try my
We're your
best.
biggest
But
fans.
no, I can tell. I really appreciate the both of you. Like, it's really very nice. Like this year, like we've grown a lot closer, and
Hmm.
I'm really thankful for the support because we just really get along. So that's I
Yes,
guess
Yeah. Oh
that's how
yeah,
I just
totally.
naturally ended up here every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
we love it.
But
Yeah.
Before
no,
you
I but
hopped on, Angela, Tanya was saying that it's just like scheduled catch-up time with your friends. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much
yeah,
what
but
we
it
do.
helps.
it is.
It does so much for like people. I think friends' mental health to a certain
Hmm.
degree because it's like what Heather says. I mean, like Zach is really supportive of you, but it's just different when we have our men and in the conversation with another female is just always going to be different. So that's just how it is. But yeah, I was saying like I told like Megan and Brianna I really like appreciate their support and they were like kind of like the reason what really encouraged me to put things out there a little bit more.
Hmm.
Because if like out of like even compared with like a couple of figure girls, um in magazine women's physique, Brianna's in women's physique, like they document stuff, they put stuff out there, and we have a lot of people following us, and they enjoy to see their journey, and they're like, oh, do you know this girl? Maybe you'll never know. Like, people, do you know this girl? Oh, but she's in
Hmm.
women's physique. But it helps the women's physique community so much when you're
It
doing
does.
that. Even though I have never gone on stage with women's physique, but it makes it exciting. Like I'd say, like
Hmm.
the women's physique scene is absolutely exciting. Last year was already like, I would argue that women's physique shows last year to a certain degree, they were actually almost some were more exciting than the figure shows. I would say that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I definitely think, and it was a big part of that was like some of the girls like sharing their journeys, um, and what it seeing their over their prep, the development. So,
And I think
Yeah,
too,
so
like part of it is a lot of girls want to get into the sport, or, maybe they don't know if they should move up or not, or maybe they're worried about the stigma of a more muscular division. And I think
hmm.
too, like we say, if the more feminine shapes that have those good muscularity, like bubbly muscles, move into a higher division, it's going to break down that stigma that it's masculine,
100%.
like masculine, whatever, makes you more masculine, because it doesn't. You can still be very sexy, very feminine, with a little bit more muscle on you.
Yeah, so I think like that's what like Meg and I talked about as well because we were chatting on DMs and we were saying I think it's fun that we're all doing this because like she would bounce content ideas off me and then if I ever think of something that she can do I would just suggest it to her and like she's got a fantastic physique. We have two different complete physiques in women's physique. Like we're just like completely different people.
Hmm.
But but at the same time, when we're all so active, we're sharing the journeys, it helps to show people that more muscle does not mean less feminine.
Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's crazy.
And I
Yep.
love seeing these people um that are able to do it, like without voice changes or without like the your face changing. Because like Meg and you both, I think, have very good genetics when it comes to being able to put on good size. So doing a smaller division for you keeps a governor on you. It keeps you from being able to train the way that you enjoy training. And so, um, but you're able to put on that size without pushing a lot of compounds, which is really nice because you are able to keep that femininity and do it. And not everybody has those genetics, and that's okay. But for those of you that do, like by all means, ride that wave. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Take
It's
advantage.
it's a compliment to actually be able to do so.
Exactly.
And with the men, like all my guy friends ever sit amongst each other, they are lying. Like you know, a guy is lying when they tell you that they don't think of being an open guy when they bodybuild.
Yeah.
Every guy
That's
wants to
so
be
true.
open,
Yeah.
That is so true.
but not
So, so true.
everybody can be an open guy.
No, they can't. And that's funny though. That's where that body dysmorphia comes in. We always look at ourselves and we're either too small or too big or too fat um or whatever. But everybody has that goal. Like, but I'm sorry, I'm very ADHD this morning, but talking about femininity, like look at Andrea Shaw. She's literally the best in the world. Andrea is sexy. Like
Yeah.
she's very feminine. She has beautiful skin. She has a very healthy look to her. She's hard and lean, but she doesn't look unhealthy. Her muscle tissue doesn't look tired. She's got a very good, healthy look to her. Now, I will say, I do think more melanated skin is able to look healthier on stage because it's not as thin. It's just like a thicker skin. And so it does keep a healthier, more attractive look to it, in my opinion. Um,
I agree with you on that. I think,
yeah.
yeah,
But I
like
just think,
Christina, great example of that.
yeah, but I think Andrea is beautiful. I think her face is
Mm.
beautiful. I think her physique is beautiful. She's still very feminine. And like when you see her in person, like you don't look at her and go, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, and she's literally the best female bodybuilder in the world, like for several years. And her voice is still very soft and,
You know who else really I love in women's bodybuilding, and I thought she made and would have been like a really good Miss Olympia to continue to represent women's bodybuilding simply because like she's really so feminine. That's Christina.
yeah,
Yeah.
She is hands down. She's just elegant.
she's sexy.
Yeah,
She is. And I've told her that. I was like, not to be a creep. I was like, you sexy girl. But I think wellness fits her personality very well. But it
yeah.
is nice seeing because she always wears like pink. You know what I mean? She's always very like her posing is very beautiful. No, I agree. I think she was good. She was good for women's bodybuilding, but I think she'll be great in wellness too.
Yeah,
But
and you know, when I think of like what my definition of women's physique is, and that's how I
Right here.
work towards, it's like, you know, when you look at, you know, Dana Lynn Bailey and you remember Sinead Grant, they are very okay, I picture women's physique to be like when women's bodybuilding in the 90s looked like the ladies were very there's that very classic look, very aesthetic, very classic look.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
it's
I
what
agree.
Jacoby like mentioned. He said he likes it when, you know, like figure girls move to women's physique because usually the ones coming from there, it's a very natural progression. So if you can still keep that figure shape and move to women's physique, that's a very big advantage for you.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Because you have that, not that you don't have more focus on the waist, but if you compete in figure, you have to be a little bit more waspy. Whereas I
Yeah.
think you can get away with a little bit more of a blocky waist in women's physique, because it is a little bit more size. But when you are able to bring that shape and size, it's like lights out.
Mm.
I'll tell you who's a smaller women's physique competitor that is an Olympian, and she's absolutely stunning. I think she's super sexy too. I don't know that she's competed in the last year or two though, but it's Pamela Canfield. I don't know if y'all remember her.
Mm-mm.
She went pro at the same show as Nick Walker. That's the only reason I even because I was gonna do that show. That was like North Americans in 2020 or something like that. And or maybe it was, yeah, he went pro at North Americans. So she won women's physique in North Americans. And I remember seeing her on stage and just thinking, Wow, she's so stunning. Her posing is beautiful. She's petite. Like she's not a big woman at all, but she's so good in women's physique. And she's an Olympian. And I'll send you her profile, Tanya.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I don't know who she is either. Send
I'll
it to
send it
me.
in the group then.
Mm.
Angela, I bought a Nintendo Wii, and it
Oh,
came
that's yeah. Did I tell you we
yesterday.
had one? Did we talk about this?
No,
Yeah, we
why are
Corey
you like
Corey.
this?
I don't. I'm sideways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
you're sideways.
there you go.
oopsie daisies. Because I'm cooking my food. I have a
But
massage at 10:30.
I got
So
Mario Kart, and
yeah,
I want to get the big game hunter because it comes with this big like gun.
I don't think Corey could find like he. I think he tried to find the gun and the guitar. I don't know. I can't ask
They're
him,
on
but
eBay.
we
eBay.
couldn't find it. He couldn't find it. Literally, he looked everywhere.
eBay.
Yeah, I beat him at golf. We played golf the other day on the Wii,
I
and I
love
did beat
it.
him. Yeah, I am the world champion of golf on Wii.
Oh yeah,
I'm
maybe
I am
unstoppable.
a
get
boss at Wii bowling. But anyway,
Hmm
I'm super, super excited.
Yeah, it is. It is very. It's fun. That's so funny that you got one and we just got one too. I didn't even. I thought we talked about that.
Triple O just announced that first
10,
place
10
at
grand.
figure $10,000 award.
I can't
just
figure out how to get this, how to stay up. We're just gonna have to deal with that. Yeah, I posted that on my story. That's freaking awesome.
That is awesome. Good for them. I'd love to see what they do with the women's bodybuilding and women's physique. Oh, Tim
Are
Gardner
you,
just added women's bodybuilding to a show.
which
Oh,
one's that?
I can't remember. But it was like a big deal because he was that Anastasia girl
Uh-huh.
posted that GoFundMe to support women's bodybuilding.
Uh-huh.
And the post basically said that Tim was so inspired by that he added women's bodybuilding to another show.
Oh wow. Pretty cool.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have to advocate for ourselves. And all right, so Sarah, she kind of messed this up for me a little bit at the way she acted after the Olympia towards
Mm-hmm.
Natalia. Do I get where she's coming from? Yes, I think in her mind she's being an advocate for the sport against synthol use, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that it was portrayed was just not the best way to do it. With that being said, she is a huge advocate for the sport. She sponsors like a
Yeah.
$25,000 towards women's physique every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then like with Sid and Andrea, like they now have their own shows. And I think that's important. And so it adds a lot to the female divisions, but we're not going to get advocated for by the men. Like we have to advocate for ourselves. And that also just speaks more to the necessity of camaraderie and not looking at each other as opponents, but as sisters. And like, I'm only competing against you on stage. I'm not competing against you anywhere else in my life. Like, and you
Mm-hmm.
doing better than me on stage takes absolutely nothing away from me. And I can be there for you and love and support and be happy for you. That doesn't take anything away from me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I
well, I
think
mean,
that,
it's also like business, right? Like,
yeah,
Angela, you own a business as well. There is business out there for everyone. You
Yeah,
don't need to worry
exactly.
about
Exactly.
other people's clients.
Exactly. 1000%.
yeah, there's room for all of us at the top. And at the end of the day, if you want to be an Olympian, then you have to bring what you know to be your best, regardless of who's going to be there. And whether that's like I have a friend of mine, Natasha Dallin, who's a figure pro, and like we were excited to compete against each other, because it's not really
Mm-hmm.
against each other. It's, hey, we can hang out backstage, like I can finally meet you in person and we can like spend some time together. And I in the amateur level, it's different. Like you go backstage, you don't really talk to anybody, maybe you're nervous or whatever. But at the pro level, I made more friends at these shows than I ever expected to. And a lot of them were people that I had like gotten support from or mutual support online. And that's kind of where it starts. But I think we need to fangirl over each other, like let me pour my excitement into you and lift you up. And eh, anyway, I'm gonna send Pamela's profile to you guys. And then we'll wrap up probably. I got lucky. I didn't actually have a 9 o'clock patient today, so
Oh, well, it's it's just one of those things like what you and I were talking about, Heather. Like no one's making money from this.
Exactly.
So let's just chill a little bit, yeah.
right?
Like I get that we're serious, but it's also not that serious at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should not be your whole life unless you're Andrea Shaw. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like when you have multiple sponsorships that are paying your bills to do this for a living and you
and
do
I
need to be
understand
the
that.
best to maintain those, yeah. But this don't pay my bills. This makes me broke.
Yeah,
So
yeah, this makes me broke.
if I can't
Well,
get loving
makes me
friendships
broke.
out of it, then it's not worth it.
Well, and that's why it's just like what you said when you're like, I was excited to compete with my friends. It's like, well, yes, because at the end of the day, like really all of this is the pursuit about getting better.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is of like the pursuit of getting better in all aspects, not just physically, but like spiritually, professionally, emotionally, like all of that is like, so if your whole goal is just the competition aspect of it and pretending that you're going to make money one day off of it, like you're not having a fun time.
No, I
Like,
mean, you're pretty miserable. It's like, what's the point? Why are you doing it for?
yeah,
Like, are you
Yeah,
even
exactly.
having a good time?
Yeah.
Are you doing this because it makes you fit in with people?
You make
You know?
far more from the relationships that you make through these for the sport than anything, any money or any of that.
Tanya, look
yeah,
at Pamela's profile.
okay. Yeah, and this is like, this is totally just digressing another topic, but at the same time, that's when, I feel that the sport also um oh, she's private.
She's private?
Private.
Oh, that's new. I'll screen record it.
Well, but she's very aesthetic. Like I'm just like looking at the DP and the profile picture. But yeah, no, what I was saying, it's like, what was I saying again? Oh, but this sport, when how people behave, it also reveals to you who's attracted to the sport because they are broken versus
Mm-hmm.
because this sport attracts a lot of broken people
It
based
does.
Mm-hmm.
on experience, what I see. Like they use it as like what we talking about, Heather, like it's a crutch.
Yeah.
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 And we did talk about that, about how this medication, oh my God. Can you tell me what I do for a living? This sport can help people with mental health disorders. Like I think working out and training and having a goal can
Helps you
help
cope with stress.
anxiety and depression. It can help stabilize mental health. It actually has helped me with my body dysmorphia because I now have a sense of control that I didn't have before.
Mm.
Before I felt I didn't really have a direction or know how to fix the issues that I was having. I just knew that what I was doing I wasn't happy with and it wasn't working. But if you have extreme self-confidence issues, this sport's not going to make that better. It's going to make that worse because you're constantly going to be
Comparing.
comparing yourself to other people, and you just cannot do that. You
Yeah, you
cannot do
need to
that.
have a very strong sense of self. And you
Yep.
need to actually believe that.
Yep. And I think that it does help some mental health, and I think it can make other mental health a lot worse. So you have
True.
to become very self-evaluating, self-reflective, and make sure that although we are focusing on physicality, that we're also focusing on mentality and the way that we perceive ourselves, perceive those around us, treat ourselves, and treat those people around us. And using the gym as an emotional outlet, sure, it can help with that mental health aspect, but it cannot be used to bury deeper issues.
Yeah. Well, this podcast today was very deep, but it was also very chill and productive.
Oh,
A lot of things.
It looks like you're eating a bag of Doritos, even though I know that's not what it is.
blueberries.
Right.
I wanted it to be Cool Ranch Doritos so bad because of my fat kid heart, but I'm glad
Mm.
you're not
Those
eating
are
Doritos.
that's Corey's favorite. I don't really like Doritos. I'm a sweet, not a savory.
I'm not a big chip person, but I do
Yeah.
like me some
You do
Doritos.
be
Yeah.
like
I
the
do like
inner
me some
fat
Doritos.
kid of Heather's coming out when I pull out the bag of blueberries and she's like, "Ooh, Cool Ranch Doritos."
I saw a picture and it had these little like fluffy like doodle puppies, and I literally thought they were chicken tenders. I was
Chicken
like, "What's
nuggets.
that bus and chicken doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, those are puppies."
Like you're definitely an inner fat ass if you see
I'm
chicken
totally a
tendies.
fat kid. Oh
You know what
man.
has been awesome for my digestion though? Papaya.
Oh really?
I've
Yes,
replaced,
yes,
yeah, so
yes.
I do like just a little bit of papaya in my first and last meal. And great.
I do AD's Good Morning drink, and it's like a
Mm-hmm.
gut drink.
It
It
does nothing for me.
is
It's weird.
excellent.
I
I love it.
literally see the commercials. I've had it, and I have it up here right now. I should send you mine because I got
Yeah, I'll drink it.
a subscription. But I don't know why. I even feel like just regular, like when I do just the aloe and the apple cider vinegar, and I'll like just that is better than that drink. I don't know
Interesting,
why.
because it has those two things in it.
I know it has the glutamine, it's everything, but and this flavor is which one was this that I got? Oh, the
I
apple juice. Did you try
Ew.
the apple juice one? Dude,
No.
no. It is good.
Is
It's
it?
good. Yeah, I more like to drink it for the way it tastes than
I did
anything it does for my belly.
I did not like the citrusy one. I do like the berry one a lot though. And it was funny. Because in prep, like anything that you can get that's mildly sweet, you get really excited about.
Yeah.
And so like
Yeah.
my good morning gut drink, like I
Yeah.
was excited to drink it because it tastes good. And so like
Hmm.
like the 2 days before my show, I told Johnny, I was like, is it bad that I'm sad that I can't have my gut drink? And he's like, you can drink it.
No.
Oh good, because it's my little sweet treat. And he laughed. He was like, it's mine too.
Yeah. Yeah, you know you hungry when your gut drink is like your dessert. You're like my
Yeah,
it's my sweet.
yeah. All right,
Yeah,
girls.
you're
I'm gonna
definitely
stop recording and I'll get this uploaded today. We can keep chit-chatting. I'm just gonna stop recording.
sorry I'm doing my
Bye, everybody.
preppy prep well. I won't hang up on you guys this week. Sorry about that.
Hmm